Hey there, welcome back friends. Today we will try to understand how to implement a loop using JSTL tags. Now looping mechanism is definitely a core functionality, and as a result it is part of core tags. Now in here we have for each tag, and using this for each tag definitely we can also implement a for loop. So we will firstly check the for loop, and then we will also check how to implement for each loop. So there are two types of loop which we can implement in here. So now using this for each tag we would require a couple of attributes, and the first attribute which we will use is where. Now this variable where is nothing but the temporary variable, and the loop depends on this temporary variable. The value of the variable will definitely change per iteration. So in here we will give the name of the variable as I. Then moving forward we have this begin attribute. Begin is nothing but the beginning value. For example, we begin the iteration from 1. And then we have the yet another attribute end. Now this end variable will give us nothing but the final value of this variable I. Now when it comes to JSTL for each tag, the increment index would be always 1, means the starting value for this variable I would be 1. Per iteration, the value of I will be increased by 1, and finally the final value of this variable I will reach to 10, and the iteration will die, the iteration will stop. Now moving forward, let us check how to read this variable I. Now reading this variable I is very simple. We will again take help of expression language, and in between pair of braces we will simply tap an I and our work is done. And let us also quickly add a br tag again. It will give us a better view. And now if we check this particular piece of code, we would be able to see a loop, and using a loop we will be able to see some output. Output will display numbers from 1 to 10. So here is the output. Pretty cool, right? Alright, now moving forward, let us check a yet another thing. In here if we check the attributes which we have used is where. This is nothing but the name of the variable, then begin attribute and end attribute. And in here the default stepping value is 1. We are stepping the variable by 1. Per iteration the value of I is increased by 1, right? But there is a provision to override this stepping value. We can give the stepping value, for example 3. And let me also modify this begin value with 0 and end value with 30. Now what happens is the value of I will start with 0, and per iteration the value of I will be increased by 3, and finally the final value of the variable would be 30 or less than 30 based on the stepping value. Alright, so in here let me execute this particular program, and here is the output. Perfect. Now for example, in here we are giving the final value as 29. In that case we would be able to see some modification on the output, and the last value would be 27. Here is the output. Alright, now based on your begin value, end value and step value, definitely your loop will perform the iterations. Alright, so this was it for today's video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for watching.